Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies. We're sisters who discuss all things related to work, family, and personal growth.
We draw inspiration from everywhere, especially from you, our listeners, to keep moving forward with joy and laughter in the big adventure that is life.
1 week at a time.
I'm Azizi Williams. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a mom of two, soon to be an empty nester, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world. I'm here with my sister, Malika Amandi.
That's me. I'm a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a newish mom, and I work in higher ed. In this episode, we'll recap our favorite moments from the Happier with Gretchen Rubin podcast and Happier in Hollywood podcast, hosted by Liz Craft and Sarah Fain.
But first, Malika, I have my pulse on a trend,
Oh,
but I'm late to that trend, so
okay.
maybe I
So
don't have the pulse.
do you have the pulse? You have
Now
the
I do.
pulse.
I didn't when I needed it, but now I have the pulse on the trend. And it's fascinating how this has been going on, and I had no idea it was a thing. So maybe a month ago, mommy and daddy reached out and they asked me when was Sanai's prom. My daughter Sanai, she's a senior, so she had her prom. And I said, "Oh, it was like a month ago." And they said, "Why didn't you tell us about it?" And I thought, I didn't know I was supposed to tell you about it. She got ready for prom and then she went to prom as
To be fair, you did send a picture.
right. I sent the picture after. She had
Right.
some very lovely pictures taken. I took no photos, but there were photos taken there. When she left, I said, "Make sure you get some photos so we can have some memories of your prom." So they expressed their disappointment that they weren't invited to her getting ready and going to prom. And I thought, that doesn't happen. That's not a thing. And then a few weeks later, my Aunt Charlene asked me, "When was Sanai's prom?" And I said, "Aunt Charlene, why do you want to know when Sanai's prom was?" She said, "Well, aren't you going to invite me? I want to see her get ready and go." And I was like, "No, this never happened. I didn't have this when I went to prom." So I thought it was really odd that they both asked me about when Sanai's prom was until Sanai and Ilea, my girls, showed me videos of prom send-offs. And it is a huge thing, actually, where a family will gather their friends and family together and admire the prom outfits of the prom people. They're usually dating each other or whatever. They will celebrate them. And then there's some lavish way that they then go to prom. So a limo or a fancy party van. They even showed me a video of someone in a truck with a clear wall, so they look like they're Barbie dolls as they
Oh my
are
goodness.
driving to prom. It's a whole thing. And then Sanai told me she was invited to go to a friend of hers prom send off, and she brought a friend with her, and they both
Wow.
went. And I was like, how did this happen all of a sudden? So this is sort of a PSA for anyone whose child might have prom. Just know that you may be asked to have a party, or maybe you want to have a party to celebrate their going off to prom.
So once the people leave to go to the prom, the party keeps going?
I have no idea. I don't know what happens after.
Okay.
This is a very good question. I imagine people remain and eat more food. I don't know. But the main event is them getting photographed and then going. So I've now watched some videos of this happening and they can be quite elaborate. I saw one where they made a whole video of the before and like a fairy godmother came and then put their wand on her and then she came out with the dress on.
Wow.
Like there can be costumes involved. I've seen it be quite elaborate. This is fun. Why not make it a minor holiday? You know?
I feel like this is totally fueled by social media. Like,
That's true.
because prom has always been a thing where maybe the parents of the date gather, like a small thing.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like social media has made this into a production because then you can share it, it can go viral,
Right.
and then that perpetuates or creates the trend, right? Because
Yeah.
you're seeing it, and
100%.
not that that's a bad thing or anything, but it's just like, wow.
Wow.
It's like the baby reveal phenomena.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's exactly like that. Yeah. But it's just amazing how something that used to be nothing, or the parents congratulating and getting excited and maybe weepy, thinking about passage of time. And then they go to prom and it's turned into like you need to rent tables and chairs now and they have a
Wow.
buffet and a whole thing. Yeah, I was caught off guard. I was definitely late. My daughter just went to prom. Like, there was no other folks around to send her off, but she had a lovely time. So I don't feel bad about my choices, but I don't have any more children with which to have a prom send off. So,
Well,
Malika, get ready.
get ready,
Yes.
15 years,
Yes.
whatever, maybe.
You'll have to have a proper send off. Who knows how they'll be sending off kids to prom
We'll
by then?
see. My goodness. So, Azizi, what happened on Happier recently?
In episode 535, Liz and Gretchen discuss ideas for a themed summer and offer their tips for parenting. In episode 536, they share a hack of taking before and after photos. And more happier, Gretchen and Liz discuss the power of thinking about their oldest relationships.
In 535, they brought up a letter that a listener wrote where she kind of shared that she'd been listening to Happier since she was like in a marriage that has since dissolved, and then she got remarried again, and now she has kids, like basically through this big chunk of life changes,
Hmm.
as we all do,
Mm-hmm.
listen to Happier. And she was saying now she's in the early parenting stage, and she knows that there were a lot of things that they've said over the years, like parenting advice, and she just wants all of it in one place. So she was reaching out to them to ask, like, what were some of those tips? I know that everybody has parenting tips that seem really obvious, but then when you hear them, it can be really helpful for a new parent. So she was kind of asking them to do a reach out to the audience to see what people would say. So, Azizi, what are your parenting tips?
Yeah. A couple of things that I go to often are be an askable parent is one of those things. And that is basically like you want to be the parent that your child is comfortable coming to no matter what, even with hard things.
Hmm.
And so there are different things that you need to do and be aware of in order for your child to be comfortable bringing you hard things. And one of those things is to not overreact when they ask you a question that maybe you don't know the answer to, or a question that you feel is too advanced, or why are they
Mm,
asking that question? If you seem really excited or upset or worried, that might signal to your child that you can't handle a hard question or that they shouldn't come to you with hard things. And so that's one thing to keep in mind. And then the other thing is think about how you're reacting to their information. And if you tend to get real excited or real heated if they're talking to you about a conflict that's happening at school or about a bad day, if that gets you the most excited, then your child might learn that, oh, if when I talk about these kinds of things, that gets attention and the focus of my parent on me. So maybe I'll just lean more into these kinds of things so that
mm,
I can get more attention from them. You don't want that either. You don't want your child to like think that this is the best way that I'm gonna get attention and time from my parent is by telling them something horrible because that's when they really pay attention. So you wanna think about how you're evenly giving them attention, focusing on all aspects of the story. You definitely wanna give as much attention and time and enthusiasm for those positive stories and things going well, not just the negative ones. And then when they bring you questions that are hard or maybe they seem too advanced or I don't quite know or why are they asking me this? Stay kind of even and just say, wow, I don't know the answer. I'm not quite sure how I want to answer that, but I'm going to come back to you. And that way they'll know, like, oh, they can handle these difficult things
mm.
when I ask them. And that can start quite young.
Wow.
That's the first tip.
That's a good tip. I think it can be so easy to feel passionate about something that your child
Right.
brings you, and even
Yes.
to think that that's the way to express interest,
Right.
is to get
Yeah.
very excited or reflect back big emotions or whatever, and so it sounds like what you're saying is to be a little bit more intentional about what it is you're broadcasting.
It's like be self aware, be aware of what your reactions are
Yeah.
to the information that they're bringing you because boy, kids bring you things you were not expecting. They will bring all kinds of things that can elicit feelings and emotions. And so it's just like being mindful, being aware of how you're responding so that you don't get locked into a cycle or you don't send a
Mhm.
message unintentionally to your child. The second one is one that I say a lot. I realized when the kids were young, like, don't go to crazy town with your kids. So Kids are kids. They're supposed to have big feelings and big emotions. They don't know how to express themselves. They don't have words yet. There's going to be tantrums. As they get older, there will be attitude. But again, as a parent, don't go there with them. Don't match that negative energy or that
Mm,
desperation. Don't get locked into that with them because that will make it harder for you to use good judgment and think about how are you going to get out of this. You know that that's what children do and that's okay for your child to have these feelings, but you need to manage your own feelings and make sure that you're not being dragged down into their mood with them.
mhm,
So if they're coming at you with a really bad mood, everything's terrible, they're being very negative, try not to then also go down there with them. But, acknowledge it and see it and meet them and let them know it's okay to have the feelings and we're going to get through it, but not to also fall into the big emotions.
this is like a PSA that as a parent, you need an outlet where you can have those big emotions,
Right.
whether that's, like, with your partner or your therapist or your friend,
Yes.
because
Yes.
I think it has to go somewhere, and I have memories of this, seeing this in high school, of watching other family dynamics
Mm,
and seeing, like, the kid being, quote, unquote, "crazy town" and the parent too.
right.
And watching it blow up and play out and feeling like, "Oh, I don't think that person is safe," you know? That adult like, there's something that feels wrong, right? Because as a
Yes.
teenager, you wanna let loose, but then if the
Yeah.
parent's letting loose too,
Yeah.
that doesn't feel like a safe space.
Yeah, and you're not a robot. You can have feelings and you should say, "I'm upset. That's making me upset." But that's different than throwing a tantrum, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's good to acknowledge your feelings, but just how you do it so that it's right, so that it doesn't feel unsafe. And then also sometimes the opposite of a truth is also a truth. So occasionally, like really getting upset if something warrants it can be really powerful, especially if you're using that well. If that is
Yeah.
not happening all the time, then your child will know, like, oh, wow, something really went wrong because that does not usually happen. But if you're like that all the time, it's not going to have an impact.
Right.
So think about how you're using that or when you are showing your child how upset you are. What are your suggestions, Malika?
Alright, well, my suggestions, will take it down a few notches to a
Okay, alright.
younger level.
Yeah, we need a variety of tips.
So this is super practical. So when you're in the, like, bottle feeding or breast pump using phase, if you're feeding your baby in that way, there's a lot of stuff to wash and, like, premium on sanitization and hygiene, obviously, because you don't want
Yes.
stuff to get bacteria in it.
Right.
So the tip or the hack is that within a day, if you're using parts over and over again, you can put them in the refrigerator in
Ooh,
between. So you don't have to wash everything every single time. Like, do the wash at the end of the day, but during the day for bottles or breast pump parts, just put them in a container in the refrigerator and it's fine.
very cool. That's a good hack.
That was a game changer from my pediatrician because it takes a lot of time to wash all those little things and parts.
Yeah.
And then the second tip is to talk to your baby or your toddler like a regular person. So this is like, I think, is a highly subjective thing and it has to deal with like find your authentic parenting style or parenting voice. But I think I noticed even before we had Indigo, I noticed like different parents interacting with their babies, and some would be very like sing-songy in the way that they talked all the
Mm,
time, and then others would just say things,
mhm,
and I was like, "I think that's me."
mhm.
Like,
That's your lane. That's
I
the
don't
lane you
really
wanna
wanna
be
be
in.
sing-songy
Yeah.
unless it's for effect, I
Yeah.
can do
Yeah.
funny voices and all of
Yeah.
that, but I think there's something about not talking down to your children that, for me, feels really important. So, I try not to, like, oversimplify things, if I use the same words I would use for a lot of people, and Indigo really catches it, like, he might not get everything, but I feel like he gets the context, and I'm not, like, giving a dissertation or anything, but I kind of assume that he can understand probably a little more than he can understand
Hmm.
from the beginning,
Yeah.
and
That
that feels good for me.
I think that's a tip is assume that your child can understand a little more than you think they can
Yeah.
and talk to them accordingly. right? I think it's good to say that it felt right for you because I don't believe you could talk the other way if you tried, Malika. I don't think you could keep that up. I don't think that would come naturally to you. And so you're talking to your child in a way that feels natural to you. The other thing that I think that does is signify that you're on the same level. You're not talking down to them. You're talking to them like an equal person. And yeah, that makes sense to me too. That's definitely how I talk to my children, like they were equals.
Mhm.
And all the babies I talk to that way also.
Maybe I learned it from you.
Maybe you did. Yeah, or maybe we learned it from our parents. I don't know. But it works. It definitely works. And Malika, have you started listening to the next More Happier?
Not yet.
We're not going to break it down now, but it's a whole panel discussion about parenting
Oh,
with
there you
Dr.
go.
Becky as one of the featured guests. So lots of adjacent tips and strategies there. Stay tuned.
Great.
In this episode, they also talked about summer themes. Summer is coming, and we know it's good to be intentional about it and think ahead about what you want to get out of it. And one way to do that is to pick a theme for the summer. So Liz and Gretchen shared some ideas of themes, some things that they're thinking about. Gretchen always has a book, a summer of an author that she wants to read. And so I was thinking about what my theme should be.
What's your theme gonna be, Azizi?
All right, I don't know yet, but here are some things I am workshopping. So one of them is Auntie Summer because I'm having another
Yay!
child. I'm having another child. I'm not, you're having another child. I'm going to be an auntie again. I'm still an auntie.
Twice over.
An auntie twice over, and I'm coming out to visit you and spend some time with Indigo and help prepare for that transition. And I don't know, I'm just really feeling this role and wanting to really be in it. So that's one idea. Another idea is just something about change, just summer of
Mm,
changes. I need a better word like evolution or
mm.
metamorphosis or something. I don't know. Butterfly, because Sinai is leaving for college, as we discussed, about a month after you bring in another child into the world. And so there's just a lot of change happening for me. I'm moving into that open door season. So that's an idea. But something else, another direction I can go in is bringing sexy back summer
Ooh.
because I'm bringing sexy back. Cue the song.
Cute. Justin Timberlake.
Cue Justin Timberlake because
Okay.
I really feel like it's going to be time for me to really focus on me. And not that I haven't
Mm,
been, and not that my kids have been a burden at all, especially these last few years. They have really, been so independent. But I just not having them in the house is
hmm.
gonna create space for me to maybe do some more intentional things for myself and for my body and, my wellness. And so that could start this summer. So that's something I'm thinking about also. We'll see what I decide.
I love that for you. That sounds really fun. And it's also like another positive spin on the open door empty nest. Like there's room for this blossoming or reawakening or something. I don't know.
Something. Yeah. And more time for my husband, like
Yeah,
just more of that time. So we'll see what feels good. I'm gonna keep thinking about it. And it's nice to have a song to go with it, I have to
it
say.
is.
So, it's good to pair the summer theme with the song. What about you, Malika? What's on your
So wait
list?
a second. Let me just think about this a little bit more.
Okay.
So Sinai leaves in August,
Yes.
at the end of August.
It's in the middle. I know that's not much summer.
And your summer year really picks up the beginning of September, right?
It does, but here's the thing, like, I have some travel where I'm gonna be away from them. Like, it
That's
it
true.
could start. Like, I could put some pieces in place
Okay.
that help me for the rest of the year. It's true. They're not gone the summer entirely. Summer is so short, Malika, by the way. It's so short,
Yeah,
but I could start moving in that direction.
got it.
Got it, yeah. Good
Okay.
catch.
Okay.
Okay, your turn, what are you thinking?
Okay. Well, baby summer, obs.
Yes,
It's
obviously.
gonna happen.
Yep.
Summer of signs. So this is kind of thinking about I've been into astrology for a while or just like learning about it. I feel like I'm astro curious. I've got books. I like to look at my horoscope. We talked about annotating horoscopes, but often it just goes in one ear and out the other. Like, I kind of grasp things as I'm reading it, but there's not a ton that I feel like I can retain.
Mm,
And I really just want to have the signs down, like the
okay.
zodiac, and to
Yeah.
know the different themes associated with the different signs. So there's a few that I do know because they're in my chart, but like if someone's like, "Oh yeah, she's a Libra," that doesn't mean anything to me, I can
Right.
like
Yeah.
pretend like, "Oh
Oh,
yeah,"
total Libra.
right? But I don't know what that means. And so I don't know. That could just be some flashcards. It could be
You wanna
watching some
memorize it?
YouTube videos, but I really wanna learn it. And so I think it's kind of like shop my closet. I think I have a lot of resources around
Right.
that delve into these things. I just would like to focus on a little bit. And it's a pretty light thing,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Could be a nice distraction, something to just dip in and out of.
It would be fun to get your baby's chart done.
Yes.
Did you do that for Indigo at all?
I think I did, like, just an online thing. I didn't
Ah,
actually go to someone who does readings,
right.
but I guess
Yeah.
once they're both here, I could do a whole family thing.
And I feel like mommy did that for me. I need to
Really?
ask her about it. I mean, obviously, it's not around now, but I remember her maybe I saw it or she told me about it. They did have a chart done.
Fun.
I know. Isn't that interesting? So, there's something to that. Maybe you just start with your family members and understanding their signs and
Yeah,
what that means.
yeah.
I like that for you. Oh, Malika, you could also do "I Saw the Signs" by Ace of Base could be your
Oh,
song, right?
there be a song, I saw the sign somewhere.
I saw the signs. Yeah, yeah,
That's
that's
a
the
good
song.
summer song, that'd be
Okay.
fun. The other idea was just big family summer because it's gonna be a lot of family around and leaning into that, especially for July. I don't
Yes.
know what that means, but just embracing the visitors and the change and being at home, and
Aunt Charlene's coming too.
she is?
Oh, you didn't know that? Am I
I
telling you something you didn't know?
No, I knew it was an option, I didn't know
You
that she was
sounded
actually
very
gonna commit.
surprised.
Okay.
She's coming with mommy and daddy.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So you could turn this into my big fat family summer. Have some like Greek music, like really lean into that big family
Greek.
energy. I love this. So many good ideas.
Wow. Alright. Speaking of summer, we are gonna be doing a little something special called Camp Pod, where we bring you small, short, punchy episodes, kind of focusing on the spirit of summer for 1 week in July.
Yay.
If you were around when we did Podmas, kind of similar, but just a little shorter and in the summer, Camp Pod. So, one of our Camp Pod episodes, we will revisit this conversation and tell you what we decided.
Yes, we'll reveal our themes for the summer of. I'm excited about Camp Pod, Malika. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
In episode 536, Gretchen talked about the benefits of taking a before picture, like just the joy of looking at a side by side of a before and after for all kinds of things. And I agree. I like those home improvement shows where you see the before and then there's the after and there's like all the joy and celebration and just the appreciation of the process and the product. And also the actual makeover shows. We talked about
Yes.
our love of what not to wear. There's definitely a before and after there. And so I thought about ways that I could bring this into my life. And we're actually going to do a bit of an office remodel project at my job. And so it was a good reminder for me to make sure to take some before pictures so we can like fully appreciate what happens after and what the result is because you just so quickly forget. I think they said this.
Yeah.
You so quickly forget what things looked like before. So I love Gretchen's reminders to take pictures of everyday things. I
Mhm.
think we often forget that.
So I think for me, what stood out was the encouragement to make a book.
Mm,
So not just taking the pictures, but really making sure you print them out in a book format
mm.
so that as you show people the office, it's like a coffee table book or something in the lobby. People can actually see the before and after. It's not just on your phone.
Yeah, I don't know if I wanna do that.
You don't wanna make a
What would be
book.
cool actually, especially for the start of school, if we're able to pull it off, is to have it on poster board, like, the
Okay.
before, so, like, everyone walking in can just celebrate and
Yeah.
remember the transformation, but then after that, I think it should just go away. I think we
Okay.
should
You don't
just
wanna book.
I don't know. We'll think about it. We'll think about it. I think I do like the idea of a book. By the way, Malika, at CVS, you can make a really quick book, like not the full
Yeah.
book, but just photos, just actual photos arranged in a particular order that is so inexpensive and takes 0 time. I'm telling you that because I don't know when you created a book last.
It's been a while. I like the books that you've made for me.
Yes, I have made some books for you. In this episode, they also talked about just go to the place that you've been meaning to go to, basically, for a long time. So, if there's a library you want to go to, or the park or something, just make a plan to go and don't have any expectation or intention about how long you spend there
Yeah.
or what you do there, but just get there. And that will make it easier for you to then go again the next time. And this really resonated with me because there's a museum I've been meaning to go to. It's been on my list for a couple of years. It's the Norton Simon Museum. It is right down the street from my house. I pass it twice a day, leaving to go to work and coming back, and I still have not been able to find the time to go.
And I got you a pass for Christmas.
I have had a pass for months. It will cost me $0 to get in. And it's like this world-renowned art gallery that is down the street from my house, and I have not been able to go. And this advice is like exactly what I need. Just go. Just go.
Just pull over one day.
Just
Like,
pull over
that's the
one
thing.
day. Yes.
They said you don't even have to look in the museum. You could just go to the gift shop.
I love a gift
Just be
shop.
on the grounds.
Yes. Listen, before next week, I'm gonna go. I'm throwing out
Right.
the gauntlet. Is that what they say? Throwing it down. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna follow their
Okay.
advice. Okay. I'll report back.
I mean, I have some of these in my own life. I can't
Where do you want to go?
throw stones. Well, the art museum on campus,
Oh, nice.
which was on my I believe it was on my 24 for 24 list,
Hmm.
and it's on my 25 for 25 list too, I think. And one of our listeners who works at the same campus reached out to me to make a plan. We had this whole thing, and then I got sick and I couldn't go that day.
Oh.
And then just haven't picked up the ball again. There's a couple places on campus like that. So the art gallery, there's also apparently like a gem, like a hall of gemstones
Ooh,
that
pretty.
would be fun to visit.
Oh, you would love that. You love crystals and things like that.
I know. But again, I go to campus every day. So I could go to these places anytime. So I don't ever go.
So you're gonna just go then sometime.
Yeah.
Maybe not tomorrow,
Right.
but yes, maybe the fall.
Well, I won't be there because
Uh,
of anyway.
but you could take your baby.
I could still go to these places. I don't have to be at work, and that might actually be better.
You might have more time to go
That's
to these
true.
places when you're off of work.
That's a good point. All right. So they also talked on More Happier about kind of just acknowledging your oldest relationships
Mm,
outside of your family. So, are there people in your life who you're still in touch with, who you've known since you were very little, or how far back do your relationships go? It kind of brought up for me like the fact that I'm very much a book person
mm,
and the book versus tree.
mhm,
I think I move on.
mhm, mhm.
So
Yep,
I'll be with people for some chapters and then lose touch and I don't go back,
right.
which is interesting to me. So the oldest relationship I could think of that I'm still kind of regularly in contact with is a friend from high school.
Mm,
We met freshman year and then we reconnected because she lives in the same area as me now.
hmm,
So
nice.
that was just kind of serendipitous, but really not very many other people from high school at all now.
Hmm,
And I think there's some family friends that we have, but I feel like I'm more tangentially connected to them. Like we don't have our own text threads or anything like that.
yeah.
and I'm not really on social media to kind of see those passive updates and things.
Right.
So that has really cut me off further.
And no one from elementary school really for you?
No,
Wow.
no. There were a few people from elementary school who also went to the same high school as me. So I was kind of in their sphere longer
Hmm.
and like through college when I was on social media but not to date.
It's funny because my best friends are from my past, like,
Yeah.
when you think about it. And I am more of a tree. I'm not a book, although there's certainly plenty of people who have come and gone in my life. And my young adulthood was so kind of not necessarily tumultuous, but there was so much change and shifting and moving here and there that I didn't make a lot of friends in college, actually, because my college experience is pretty disjointed. But I still am in touch with my friend from fourth grade, Talisha, shout out.
Wow.
We, for a while, had a cadence where she moved away to Texas and she would come back once a year with her daughters and we would go to the beach together. And it was just so lovely. So I really value that friendship. And then Marissa and Danielle are our family friends who we literally grew up with,
Yeah, our
uh,
god
our
sisters.
god sisters. And because I still live where I grew up, they come
That's
out.
also
I
true.
think that has something to do with it. They come out, they visit their mom, and I inevitably will see them, one of them at least once a year. And then Anne, this is an intergenerational relationship because she was my teacher when I was in the 3rd grade, and I just loved her so much and appreciated her so much that she stayed in my family's life. She came to my high school graduation and college graduation, and
Well, she
then
was my teacher
she
also.
was also your teacher. My children went to the school that I went to, so then she was their teacher, and
Yeah.
she was at Sinai's graduation party. Like,
Oh,
it was so lovely, and I told her, "Anne, you are one of my oldest friends," because she's been in my life since I was in the 4th grade, and
wow.
I love that. I love a long-term relationship, and I will say that during the fires, like, a lot of people reached out, you
That's
know?
true.
Now that I think about it, that we're talking about it, there's probably a few people that I could circle back to and say,
Yeah,
"Hey, do you wanna have coffee or something?"
that's
To
true. That
kind of turn it
happened for
into a
me too.
friendship. So,
Yeah,
that was one of the nice things. It was community members and old friends sort of coming back and checking in on you.
that's true. All right, well, let's take a break. And when we get back, we'll discuss Happier in Hollywood. Azizi, how's your dinner game these days?
Well, Malika, I used to struggle with what to cook for dinner.
You're cooking now?
Okay. Actually, my husband used to struggle with what to make for dinner. I mean, meal planning, grocery lists, yuck. But then we found Prep Dish. It's a weekly meal planning service that tells you exactly what to cook. And now they've partnered with Instacart, so your grocery list becomes a ready to go online cart.
Oh, what's in your cart, Azizi?
All of the Prep Dish ingredients, plus I can add energy drinks, chili crisp, lipstick, whatever, and check out in just a few clicks. Shopping online is so fun. The meals are family friendly, healthy, and super easy to prep. Dinner is easy to make, and now we look forward to new tasty meals.
Prep Dish is offering our listeners 2 weeks free. Just head to prepdish.com/happierladies to sign up. Again, that's prepdish.com/happierladies.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
And we're back. Malika, what happened on Happier in Hollywood?
On Happier in Hollywood, episode 419, Sarah shares the joy of an immersive experience, and they both talk about different kinds of fans. In episode 420, Sarah and Liz answer listener questions about music, parenting, and how to keep work interesting. So, Sarah talked about immersive experiences. She cited the Renaissance Fair as an example of an event where people are in costume, there's like music, all the sensory elements are kind of tied in. And she was just saying what a wonderful experience that was for her.
Mm.
What is an immersive event that you want to go to, Azizi? And where have you been?
I love an immersive event. I think I just really like to have all my senses like engaged.
Mhm.
So this is definitely up my alley, these kinds of events. And I'm remembering that money experience we went to. Do you remember that, Malika?
Yes.
It was so cool. I think you maybe learned about it.
Yeah, it was like a pop-up museum about, like, empowering women around money and financial literacy, and there were all these interactive things.
Yeah, and it wasn't very crowded. I remember feeling like we were one of a few people there, but you kind of worked your way through these different stations where you learned about money and, the dynamics around money. And then you also engaged with some sort of interactive experience at the same time. I really enjoyed that. I feel like I had some takeaways that I probably still apply.
Wow,
Yeah. And there were some really cute photos. I think it was all very Instagrammable.
very much.
So maybe we'll put some of those up on Instagram.
Yes.
I've talked about this before, but Dapper Day at Disney happens twice a year in the fall and in the spring. And everyone who participates dresses up as though they are going to Disneyland in the 1950s and 60s. And often their costumes subtly hints at a character, a Disney character. It doesn't have to, but that's kind of the fun of it, like to pick up the color themes of a Disney character or something like that. But it's like you dress up like the 1950s. You get to wear your big skirt or your pencil skirt, some gloves, a hat. It's just fun to dress up and to be around other people who are also dressed up and fancy in that way in a space that you don't usually dress up in. So that's fun. I done that with my husband before and we enjoy it. This year at the Huntington Gardens in Pasadena, they had this Christmas market, like a holiday market experience, and it was the most beautiful thing. I missed it the year before, I made a point to put it on my calendar, and I went with Ilea, and they had all of these vendors selling holiday gifts and crafts, and they had carolers, they had hot chocolate that was free for anyone coming in, and you got the whole vibe, You just had that holiday vibe walking amongst the vendors, having the hot chocolate, and being in the gardens. That was so beautiful. So that's an immersive experience I'm gonna put on my calendar to do every year. And Malika, this also brought up for me something that I really want to do, but I haven't figured out how to do yet. They have these conventions. I love a convention, like a big convention hall, lots of vendors, swag. I love it. I love a big convention. And they have ones that are for snacks and candy. And I'm like, I want to
Mm.
go to a snack and candy convention and just try a bunch of samples, be on the cutting edge of what is new in the snack world. I want to do that so bad. And I doesn't that sound like fun? Does that not sound like fun to you?
I don't know.
What?
I could see it being fun. Maybe we could get a media pass or something if we're
Maybe we
gonna
can
like
have a media pass. That's what I'm talking about. You're gonna get a canvas bag. You're gonna get like 5 of them, and you just put all those snacks in, and you try them out. Ugh, that sounds like heaven to me. I can't wait. Side note, have you heard of Dubai chocolate?
Oh, yes. They featured it on T-Boy.
They have it at Trader Joe's now.
Well, there you go. They said it takes like 18 months for a TikTok trend to hit the stores.
Oh, 18 months. They have it down to a science.
Yes.
That's so interesting. That's so interesting. On my wish list of immersive experiences is some sort of candy snack experience. What about you, Malika? Have you done any immersive experiences?
The thing that came up for me was at Descanso Gardens in the LA area. They have an event called Enchanted
Mm,
Lights, I believe. That's around the holidays, and they totally deck out the whole botanical garden with like nighttime
mm,
installations. The artistry is really incredible, but there's also hot cocoa and like different concessions nestled in to places where there aren't usually
yeah.
concessions, and it's cold and you bundle up and walk around, and that's very immersive. I think I've gone twice, but that was like an early date with Norms. It really stands out to
Oh,
me.
that reminds me when remember we went to Sturbridge Farms? Is that what it's called?
Oh, yes,
Sturbridge
Sturbridge Village.
Village.
That's also an immersive experience.
That was similar. There weren't lights, but it was definitely themed and cold. It was
Definitely
also
themed.
cold.
People in costumes. We went, it was
Yes.
raining. That's true. This also reminded me of in my arts high school, we would do these fundraisers for the theater program that were not optional for the students. Like we had to participate in them. It would be a dinner or something with, I remember one of them was Oliver themed, like
Mm.
Oliver Twist. Of course, in my mind, it's like we spent months rehearsing. I don't really know if it was months, but we learned songs from Oliver. But I remember they gave us this list of all these Cockney phrases we had to memorize.
Okay, what's one of them?
Oh my gosh, I don't
No?
remember.
You don't have
It
one?
was like, "Please, sir, give me some food." I
This is
don't
like
remember.
child labor. They force you guys to
It
dress up to
was.
raise money for the school.
We had to dress up like orphans and mill
Oh
around
my goodness.
while people were eating their dinner, and, like, the whole thing, I think, because we were, like, young actors, like, everybody took it very seriously. Whoever was organizing it took it very seriously, so it's like, you can't break character. You've gotta stay in characters. When you're out there on stage, like, among the dinner tables, don't
So this
break
is like dinner
character.
theater, basically.
Yeah,
And to be
kind of,
clear, you
yes.
weren't ever actually doing the play of Oliver.
No, there were just, like, vignettes, little moments, and, like, some songs. I don't know.
I
It was a
wonder what the
lot.
experience was like for the diner. I wonder if it was like as
Feels like it would be
awkward.
awkward,
That's so funny.
but people paid to go, it was for a good cause.
Now, do you enjoy immersive experiences?
I really don't know.
Oh,
I think it
yeah.
depends because I don't like the feeling of not being able to get out.
Okay. Yes. You don't want to be trapped somewhere.
No.
Yes.
And sometimes, like, I guess I've been to some, like, theater shows that were immersive, and it's like you get led to places you can't just
Oh,
leave or
yeah.
go to the bathroom or, you're, like, on this
It's like an
ride.
escape room or something, which I've never been in, but
Yeah.
I've heard about and don't want that either.
Yeah, I don't know. It's different. You give up some
Right.
control.
Yes.
So, jury's out. I think it depends on what it
Right.
is.
Yes. Well, an open air experience might be the best one for you. Can easily flee if needed. In episode 420, a question was asked about what kind of music do you like to listen to, or what's your favorite album? I think the question was specifically. And so I'm curious, Malika, if you have a favorite album.
So, I don't listen to that much music. I don't listen to as much music as I would like
Mm.
to. Certainly not new music. I I feel like I am a music person. I enjoy music, but I do kind of like Liz and Sarah tend to listen to podcasts in the
Mm.
car. And so I feel a little out of touch here.
Yeah.
But an album that is one of my favorites is Graceland by Paul Simon,
Oh, that's a classic.
which I was introduced to on the way to a camping trip in like the second grade. I still remember it and I still listen to
Yes.
it and know all the words and it still delivers. It's such a good
Yeah.
album. Like the flow of the songs, the tone, it's fun to put on with Indigo. That's a good one for summer as
Oh,
well.
yeah. You know how I feel about music. It's really important to
Yes.
me. I love music. Oh my goodness. I'm going to tell you this thing that I learned about myself. Malika.
Okay.
So, I went to Hamilton, which this is also one of my favorite albums, is the Hamilton soundtrack. It is so good. And I know I'm about 10 years late to the party, but I finally went to see the show on my solo retreat live. And while I was at the show, I was like getting chills a little bit. So I kept putting on my sweater and like it could be drafty in the auditorium. And then when I came home later, I had never watched it on TV. And so I decided to stream it. Chills again. And then I realized it
Oh,
gives me
it
the
was the
chills. It
music.
was the music. And so when I listen in the car, I'm like kind of ready for the chills to happen. I have never had that experience or I've not been plugged into that experience before. And I was talking with my husband about it. It's like, okay, maybe it's some ASMR, like it's operating on some level, but I definitely have a
Mm,
physical response to this music that is pleasing. Like I can nail it down. It's fascinating.
that's awesome.
Fascinating. Like, does anything give you the chills that you have done before?
I feel like I've gotten the chills from music
Uh-huh.
before.
I feel like
Absolutely.
we should pay
And I
attention to
think,
that.
like, I can't think of a specific musical, but, like, well, West Side Story,
Ah,
the song Tonight,
yes.
where they're like, we'll have to link this. It's kinda gets into more opera, like, they're singing the different harmonies are over each
Mm.
other, and there's, like, 4 people singing at once, and they're yeah, that one always gives me the chills.
I'm not familiar with it. Is it beautiful? Like, do you like that music?
It's beautiful, it's grand, it's so
Yeah.
gorgeous. But I've heard somebody talk about this particularly with opera being, like, effective and that it's and I think Hamilton would fall into that category in West Side Story too, where you're hearing kind of multiple
Mm.
music lines
Mhm.
over each other. It does something really specific in your brain and in your body
Yes.
that is not like a typical song where you can, like, actually hear and experience multiple people's emotional realities at once,
Wow. Oh.
which is, like, really, like,
I know.
"Whoa."
For me, I connected it to, like, it sounds like gospel music, and we kind of grew up with that, and so I was
Yeah,
thinking maybe there's some connection there, but that would be the same effect or impact of just
yeah.
multiple voices. That's so interesting. That's so interesting. So, yes to an album. And the other thing that I was reminded of, again, I collect CDs, and as I was looking at CDs at some thrift store the other day, I realized this is my connection to the 90s, and I am so nostalgic for the 90s. And it's like
Yes,
mostly that's what's there is early 2000s and
right.
90s music. There's nothing new that is in a thrift store CD bin. And it makes me so happy. It, like, lights me up to find a piece of music that I remember listening to when I was younger. So, yes to the albums. Let's take a break, and when we get back, we will do peaks and valleys.
Hey, it's Paris. You know, I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
And we're back with peaks and valleys because in life, there are always peaks and there are always valleys. This is an odd episode, so Malika is up first with a peak.
Alright, so my peak is that I did a friend trip to Montreal, which was so much fun. This was something on my list for the year was to do a friends trip, and I also had on my list to do something French, so I'm gonna put Montreal in
Oh,
that category.
absolutely.
I did practice some French, which was a lot of fun, and I had been thinking about going back to Montreal, like, as a family trip because we did that last year and had a good time, but as I thought about this particular season and what's about to come, it was kinda like, I kinda want this for myself,"
Yeah.
and Norm was on board, so he took care of Indigo for that chunk of days. It wasn't very long, but it was a long weekend, and my friend Sabina came out from LA, and we did a road trip and ate in some nice restaurants and walked around, and it was just, like, fun,
Yay.
just pure fun, and I'll give a peek to the peak, which is that we did a Airbnb experience that was touring Old Town Montreal
Mm.
in a 1964 convertible Cadillac. So the driver was our tour guide,
What a
and
great
that was so
idea.
much fun.
Who needs to walk when you could drive in a convertible, right?
Exactly. I was, like, not wanting to do a ton of walking because I'm quite large and waddly right now. So it was like, "Okay, what kind of seated tour can we do?" And then to be in this really fun classic car, I'll have to share a picture. It was so funny. So many people were taking pictures of us because the cars that, like, was so striking,
That's so funny.
but it was just a fun experience,
What a good idea. Airbnb experiences are really like
right?
winning. I mean, if you haven't checked that out and you're going anywhere, I highly recommend it. We've had some great experiences through that app.
This is not sponsored.
It's not
We're just big
sponsored.
fans.
If you'd like to sponsor, you're
We'll
open.
take a sponsorship, but
Absolutely. But it's not sponsored, but it's just over and over again. We've had really
yeah.
good experiences with it.
Azizi, what's your valley?
Well, my valley was I couldn't go to a slumber party that I was really looking forward to. My friend Reagan was having a party and she had all these activities planned, going out to dinner, being outside by a fire, going to yoga in the morning, going to, oh, what's the place called? What's the salad place called?
Sweet greens?
Going to Sweet Green because that's her favorite lunch spot. I was so excited about it. RSVP'd, yes, I'm going to go. I can't wait. And then reality set in as I got closer to it. And a few days before, I realized it's the same weekend. And I knew this before, but it was the same weekend that I was throwing my daughter's graduation party. I had a board meeting. It's the last weekend before her graduation. She needed a dress. And the only available day to do a lot of things was the Friday before all of these things were going to happen. And I had to cancel. And I just felt so
Mm,
bad. I felt so bad canceling. I was like, I wanted to go and just drop in, even just for the dinner, but she lives all the way on the west side, and that's a good hour and a half
mm.
commute away. And it wasn't possible. I had to let it go. But I get really frustrated when I can't do everything, Malika.
I know. It's hard.
I want to do all the things and I can't. That's hard.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay, but the party was great. I'm glad I had the time. I took care of a lot of things that needed to take care of, and I reduced the stress that would have been there trying to fit that in as well. And I will find another way to celebrate my friend Reagan's birthday later.
Do you think it would have been better to say no earlier?
Yes, but I am blind to time.
Okay.
That's impossible. There's no way that I could have known I was going to be too busy. That's a muscle that I need to exercise is how to be realistic about how many things I can actually do
Yeah.
because I consistently think I can do way more than I can.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end. Azizi, let's leave on a happier thought. What are you going to try this week?
I'm going to keep searching for CandyCon. I know there's a convention out there that we can get into or that I'll go by myself. I don't care. I just want to be immersed in candy and snacks and new trends. So
Maybe
I'm
you
going to
could
look for that.
volunteer.
Ooh. Volunteer. That's my retirement. I'm going to start making a retirement list of things to do. One of them is working at the candle factory, that shop there, the Yankee Candle
Yes.
store. I'm gonna add work at CandyCon to my list. What about you, Malika? What are you gonna do?
I really want to listen to West Side Story now. So I'm going to find a time to get the chills.
Report back on the chills. Yeah. This is such an interesting phenomenon.
All right. Thank you for listening to this episode. You can find our show notes in the episode description. If you like us, please rate, review, and tell a friend. And don't forget to follow us.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
You can find us on Instagram at happierladies and on the web at happierladies.com. All right, Malika, have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Azizi. Bye.
Bye.
I'm so yeah, blah, blah, blah. How do I feel about
How do you feel?
it? Melting.
Oh no, don't. We're almost there. You can't melt yet. Keep it together.
Okay.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.